recently. Anthony Joshua, can we touch on this, Carl?
Absolutely.
Joshua doesn't need to retire, but I would say that AJ has passed his best, and on the slide, maybe it niggles him that he's probably got no real legacy. He's not in the Hall of Fame, unlike the Cobra.
Like the Cobra, getting up to the next one. Rob McCracken's coming out with me as well, which I'm quite happy about. Listen, I say quite a few things that are a little bit tongue-in-cheek, because it gets people listening. But I also talk the truth, and I'm not afraid to talk the truth. Now, I just think if Anthony Joshua was to retire now, what would he be remembered for? He'd be remembered for beating an old Klitschko that's been sat on the sofa for 18 months. And he climbed off the canvas to do it in a great win, yes. He'd not be a best version of Klitschko. And then people are going to remember him for losing to the fat kid from Mexico. Brilliant. And I've got to say he's the fat kid from Mexico because in the rematch, he turned up like a fat disgrace. He was overweight, he was ill-prepared, and he looked a mess. And, okay, AJ got the win and won his titles back, which is job well done, box tick, brilliant. But don't forget, he got absolutely beat up and knocked out and stopped in the first fight. So that's still a taint on his record. Okay, put it right, but then what's he remembered for? 2 losses to Alexander Usyk. All right, one of the best fighters to ever live and breathe the sport, brilliantly talented, but he's a cruiserweight, coming up to heavyweight. So if you look at his legacy now, there's nothing to shout and scream about.
What's good? It's Stormy B-Man, and I'm back with another Stormy B-Man's Briefs. This time, the focus is on what is the legacy of Anthony Joshua currently. In a recent interview on Talk Sport Boxing, Carl Frotch, a man from the UK who has been known to speak his mind, decided to open up and speak about the legacy currently of Anthony Joshua. And it's not a pretty body of work, according to Frotch. And I somewhat agree with him. And though Joshua's resume is incomplete at this time, what has transpired up to this point and what may be on the immediate future seem to be a collision course of mishaps. The talk and consensus is that the Joshua camp would like to face Deontay Wilder later this year in 2023. Without having overcome difficulties that he has shown in his past and the fact that he has not been able to elevate psychologically from the points of which we acknowledge where he is to where he is trying to get to, the Joshua camp may be fooling themselves when they consider fighting a fight like Deontay Wilder without having improved in certain areas where his weaknesses are glaring. Frotch was able to point out something, and he pointed out the fact that Joshua's biggest win over a Klitschko who is coming back after 18 months or more out of the ring, and then the Madison Square Garden debut where he horrifically performed against Andy Ruiz Jr. and lost his heavyweight title. People like to gloss over that, and now the 2 losses back-to-back to Alexander Usyk, who is a cruiserweight who moved up being undisputed champion from that weight division to take Joshua's unified titles and also defend them and defeat him a second time in their immediate rematch. What is up with Joshua? Joshua is basically an average heavyweight, but the people and the hype machine that have been behind him because of his size and his looks, but not necessarily the skill set, you could see where he was a protected fighter, and they did not bring the quality of teaching mentors in with him early enough in his career where he can grow as a fighter and as a man simultaneously. Hiring Derek James to try to assist with putting him back on track is going to be a difficult journey. The fact that Joshua is a multimillionaire many times over currently, he can look at things and say, hey, this is getting too tough for me, I'd rather check out. That's the one Achilles that he has to face, and they don't talk about that. But tell me, what do you think? And what is Joshua's legacy to you? Leave comments and let's discuss. This is Stormy B-Man. Shout out to the mighty LDBC and Liberated Perspective, a third eye view of the world. For more content like this, please subscribe.